When did you decide you were going to become a doctor?
Yeah,
Or how did that come about?
that's a good question. In school, I was always interested in sciences, and my brothers both became engineers, but that didn't really interest me. I wanted more of a sort of a people contact.
Hmm.
So if you combine sciences and interested in people, then medicine seemed like a natural choice.
Hmm.
So that just kind of fell that way.
Yeah. And did you get into it like right after high school?
Well, you have to do what we call pre-med, which is you have to do, when I was around, you had to do a minimum of 3 years of a number of courses before you could apply to medical school.
Hmm.
And after I made a large cash donation to the medical school, they accepted me after 3 years. So some people get degrees, like some people get a Bachelor of Science degree or a Bachelor of Arts degree or even a master's before they apply. And
Okay.
then medical school is 4 years, and then 2 more years of residency when you're done.
And what's residency?
Residency, you're a doctor, but you're not. You have to sort of jump through some more hoops, kind of like articling for law students before you can. They say come to the bar, but I don't know. Come to the stethoscope, I guess. I guess is the equivalent. So.
And when you first, I guess like in school, when you're in school, like do you work with patients and like people, or is it mainly just like textbook stuff? Like I don't know anything about what you actually do.
Sure, medical school. It's been a long time since I've been there, Shelby. But in general, you start with more classroom-based learning.
Mm-hmm.
So you do anatomy, physiology, biology, those kind of things, and then you would move into more clinical work.
Mm-hmm.
So usually the first couple years are more sort of classroom learning,
Mm-hmm.
and then they unleash you on the unsuspecting public, usually in your third year.
Okay, and then you get to work on actual people.
Yeah, it's all supervised. So you would have a clinical instructor who would you'd see people and learn how to examine people and come up with diagnostic plans and sort of an investigation process and yeah. So that's and then the progression goes like by the time you're in your last year of medical school, you're doing more and more, and then when you're a resident, you're essentially doing everything,
Mm-hmm.
but you still have a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
It is a weird, it is a, not a weird, that's not right. It is an adjustment when you finish being a resident and then you're working on your own and it's all of a sudden, oh wait, there's nobody else supervising me anymore.
You just do whatever you want.
Like, oh wait, there's no control on me anymore. So yeah.
When that happened too, like, do you feel like, I feel like there's so many things to pick from when you're like diagnosing people and stuff. Are you ever like, you must be second guessing certain things that,
yeah.
or like when you first started, like,
yeah, I think that's probably probably one of the issues when you first start. It's like, oh, well, I think this is a cold, but then your head starts going, whoa, what if it's,
mm-hmm.
polycythemia rubra vera, and it's really rare, but, so I think you get more comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
with, the sort of common diseases and not overthink things and have it settled, have it settle a little bit more down so that you can just kind of do your work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, if you can certainly get stuck thinking of the infinite possibilities.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
But that's what you can always look things up. You can always ask somebody else. You can do some investigations that
Mm-hmm.
might point you one direction or the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then through like my practice, like through me seeing you, like there's been so many different things. Like I've came for like colds, and then I've came for like surgeries, and you've like cut my arm open and taken stuff off my arm. Did you learn all of that in medical school, or do you like go and learn different surgery things after?
Yeah. So in medical school, you have an exposure to a lot of things. And then what I did back then was what's called a rotating internship. So when you're done medical school, it's a year of where you work at a hospital, essentially as a slave.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of do a rotation in surgery, you do a rotation in obstetrics gynecology, you do a rotation in pediatrics. That's where you develop a lot of your skills.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, learning, as you know, is an ongoing process.
Mm-hmm.
It never stops. So
you're always learning.
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do brain surgery in the office, though.
Yeah,
pretty sure. There has to be some limit. Right? So,
yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's cool how you get to try all the different things. Kind of reminds me of like grade 8 when you go through all the different like cooking and woodwork and stuff. You get to kind of taste every aspect of it and learn about everything.
Yeah, and then some people, they go through their medical school journey, and they decide early on, I want to be a neurosurgeon,
Hmm.
and so their focus becomes really quite narrow.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, so you've basically stayed broad. You haven't narrowed into anything.
yeah,
Okay.
mostly because I don't have the intellectual ability to really be good at anything. So I'm pretty average at a lot of things. So,
That's good though. I like that. I like being 80% at a bunch of stuff instead of 100 at one.
exactly.
um,